Good evening, everybody, and welcome to Saturday Night Live. Look at that. But it's not as comedic, I don't think. But maybe I am. But as you guys are coming in, if you wouldn't mind just hitting the like button, it does help the channel grow. If you're watching on a replay, let me know in the comments below. You can hashtag replay or just let me know your comments on the video. Good evening to everybody in the chat. Ina and Summer, I saw a bunch of people were in here. Rebecca, I don't know if she came back yet or not. She said she'd be back, and Teresa's in here. And I saw Sergeant George came in. So good. Hopefully I didn't forget anybody. So we're going to talk about Idaho 4 tonight, but before we get started, I figured I'd give it a few minutes to see if anybody joined the chat, because sometimes it takes a couple minutes for people to come in. But I was almost late myself, so don't worry about it, Isabel, if you're a little late. I was running around and I didn't realize that it was 7:15 comes a lot faster, than 9:45. So we were doing those later lives. So I was like, oh, I got to get home. I was like, I got to get on the live. Of course, I was over at Target where I don't need to be, but that's where I'd love to be. It's my second home. So we are going to discuss the Idaho 4. I went through the search warrant for Bryan Kohberger's parents' home, and there was 63 plus items listed on there. But I don't know if you guys remember the other night we tried to read through them, but they were not legible at all. So the first half was he was doing good. The officer that was writing the items that they were seizing, he was doing a good job. But I think his hand got a little tired because you can tell towards the bottom it was unlegible. There were a lot of other creators that were not, it wasn't just me, they were coming forward and saying the same thing. Let me add this, let me turn my camera on. But they were coming and they were saying the same thing, so that they couldn't read it. And I was going to actually pull it up, the actual document. I don't know if, because I have it on, I printed it out and then I just did it on a Google document today. So we can go through that here in a little bit. It'll make it's a little bit easier than trying to read through the officer's handwriting. So I'm not even going to try to find that on my end because I have so many bookmarked. It's insane. So, good evening, be happy. I saw a couple other people came in, Skittles and Rich. Good evening. So I wanted this video is a little older, but I wanted to show you guys this one. I don't know if we saw this on the channel or not, before, but it's from Court TV. It's Vinny. He is going to go over the, search warrant for Bryan Kohberger's apartment, because remember that was the first one that they executed. And so I kind of wanted to go back and, take a listen to this, which I listened to it before I came on. And it was actually, I forgot that they some of the stuff that they seized. And then Vinny, they correct him on a couple of the wording that they use. So I thought we could start with this one. And then I do have the full list that we could go through. They seized a lot of electronics, a lot more than I thought. So we could thank Vincent for that part, because I was like, you read the techie things and I'll read the stuff that's not techie. Because, you can usually, even if it's chicken scratch, if you're in that field, you can kind of see what they're saying. So I love Vinny too. So I thought we would start off with him, because I don't know if we watched this one on this channel before, but I don't think we did, but I don't know, because we've been watching a lot of stuff. I know. I was reading Summers and I'm like, I know I need a day off. I'm going to take some time off, I think next week. So I'm here today and I think I'm going to do a live tomorrow, but it's going to be more laid back, casual, hangout kind of live. And then I'm going to take a couple of days off. And because, things are just going to be, cases will be coming out before we know it. Trials will be coming up. So yeah, I'm definitely going to take a day off, because you all need a day off. Because if I haven't had a day off, then you guys haven't had a day off. And Summer works double jobs. She'll be doing double shifting sometimes. So I think that, electronics will tell the truth. People will lie. Yeah. And they took a lot of things. They took a lot of older computers, new computers, but we'll go through that list. And right after we do, I'm going to have us watch this. This is 20 minutes long, 25 minutes long. So it's pretty long, but it's really good. And they just go through everything that they seized from his apartment, which it's kind of, I don't know. Whenever I saw this, like the one sterile glove or whatever they had, the one, surgical glove, they state that they had one there. Well, then they state that they found one glove at his parents' house. So I'm wondering if it's like the matching glove. So it kind of has some details that will kind of, I don't know, go with what we're going to be going into tonight. So yeah, there were several computers removed. Yeah, they had a lot of computers, which I mean, a lot of people do. If people, I told Vincent, I was like, we need to clean this place up with electronics because we have server looking things like servers, computers, digital, just stuff like everywhere, like old, like laptops, like why do we have these? Isabel's having Murdaugh withdrawals. I can show you his picture if you miss him. I think I saved it. Someone said they shaved his eyebrows too. And I was like, no, I think his eyebrows are still there, but they're just so light. But I wonder how his first day was in the pen, the big house. Isabel want to go visit in prison. Maybe when she comes to Graceland, go to Graceland, just slide on down to South Carolina. That would be a trip. That would be a trip. So I'm going to go ahead and play this, and I'm going to talk. I'll probably stop it a few times and say a few things through it, but because I think that there's a couple things that he mispronounced or something. I forget, but I can't remember. But I did have to stop it and be like, hold on a second. So, good evening, Princess Meg Elsa. Oh my gosh, Summer! I saw your comment today about about him looking. So Summer left a comment underneath of if you haven't seen Alec Murdaugh's new mugshot, he's wearing yellow, and she said he looks like an old Charlie Brown, and he does. He does look like him. I can't get that out of my head now. I keep thinking that. I'm like, he does look like that. Missing the drama, but not him. Yeah, 6 weeks was a long time for any case, but I'm glad that it's over. But it's one of those things, and this happened with, when they came back. So this happened when Bryan Kohberger was arrested too. You're constantly like going at a speed of 1,000 miles per hour with these cases. You're like, what's the information? What's next? Like super hyper vigilant because you're like looking for information. And then when there's an arrest or there's like not like a final outcome, but just like some sort of outcome that gets you one step closer to like justice, it's like you hit a brick wall. It literally feels like you just stop and you don't know what to do with yourself. You're like, I've been doing this all day. I'm like, what should I do? Because I'm used to like, having multiple cases, but I'm glad that Murdaugh is where it needs to be. And hopefully that whole town can recover and the family can move on too. Yeah, yes, the lion definitely sealed his fate. He wasn't good at it. I don't know. I know why he went up there because, I think he thought he could tell like a lie and people would believe him again, but I don't think that he did. I don't think that no one believed him. I don't think even the jurors that have come forward, they said they got the verdict within like an hour. So I think they just sat back here and chilled for a couple hours because they said they took 3 hours, but I don't think it really took that much time, which I think is kind of funny at the same time because he couldn't even get like them to sit back there and think about it for at least a few more hours. Yes, decompress and recharge our minds. That's why I think I'm going to do just like a fun live tomorrow, just like nothing about, just to kind of free our minds. And then Monday, I'm going to take a day off or 2, 3, maybe 4. But I'm not going anywhere, guys. So if you don't see me on, I'll be on. I'll make a community post and I'll make sure you guys know I'm here because I've done that before. I haven't had a day off since last year. I don't remember when I took a day off last time, but I did take like 2 days off. And it might have been Isabel, but someone reached out, a couple people reached out to me and they're like, are you okay? Are you all right? And I was like, oh my gosh, I'm fine. But it was so nice because you all get to me faster than my family ever would. I don't see my family for years and they're like, she's good. She'll be fine. Don't leave us. I won't leave you guys. I would never do that. So we are going to start with this video here. So if you guys are just now joining us, we're going to do all of Bryan Kohberger's like search warrants. I went ahead and I wrote them out, the 60 some, I think it's like they had like 2 things on each line or a couple of the lines. So it ended up being more like 70 items instead of the 63 items. But We'll go through that here in a minute. And then I do have, or after this, and then I do have a 3D rendition that girl that Get, I think her name is, off of TikTok, and I'll show you her TikTok. But Ashley Banfield got her newest 3D image from like the house where, you know, Bryan Kohberger allegedly in his car comes up and passes 3 different times. And it shows you like a little bit more than what we saw last time. So it actually shows you a lot more than we saw the last time we did a 3D image. So it's kind of nice to see it. It gives you a little more perspective. So I'll go ahead and play this, and I'll be in the chat too. So if you guys are just joining us, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. If you'd like to subscribe, we'd love to have you. If you'd like to become a member, I'm going to put that in the chat really quick. We'd love to have you be a part of our Titan team here. And I'll go ahead and start playing this. So, and then we'll go on to Kohberger's car after this.
New evidence revealed in the murders of college students Ethan, Xana, Maddie, and Kaylee as a search warrant.
And I just want to tell you, this video here is going to be a little bit older because this is going to be the search warrant on his house back in Washington. So I just wanted to tell you guys that before we got started, so no one says, oh my gosh, this is old, so you guys know. But I thought that it would be nice to go back and listen to this because it does tell you what they took from his Pullman house, and it does kind of show a lot because I forgot that they took the computer tower, and Vincent actually remembered that. So when we listened to this today, I was like, oh, he was right. So got me.
Warrant is unsealed. We have all the details of what was found inside the apartment of the accused mass murderer. And tonight, we'll go through the evidence piece by piece with our own experts. Will prosecutors be able to connect the defendant to the scene of the crime?
I'm Vinny Politan. Thank you for joining us here on Closing Arguments. The case in Idaho, this is not a case with direct evidence. There is no eyewitness to the actual murders. There's a witness who sees someone afterwards, but doesn't witness the actual murders. There's no video of the murders, and there's no confession. So what do we have? We've got video. We've got video of the suspect's car circling around the area outside of that house, going back and forth. We've got that car visiting before the murders as well. So the white Elantra and the video of the white Elantra, crucial piece of circumstantial evidence for prosecutors to try to get that suspect from Pullman, Washington into Moscow, Idaho. Second crucial piece, those cell phone pings. Pinging everywhere. Those cell phone pings, sometimes coinciding with the video, other times pinging when there is no video, and sometimes we have video when there are no pings. But you put these pieces together, it's like a puzzle. Circumstantial evidence. How many times have you heard a prosecutor talk about the pieces of the puzzle that you've got to put together to prove the case? So the cell phone, again, is circumstantial evidence. It can prove that someone is there or the cell phone is there. And then you're gonna say, well, the cell phone's there, and then he's there, and we see his car there. So you put all of that together, you're like, okay, now all of a sudden you've got this defendant not home in his apartment, but you've got him out of his apartment. You've got him in Moscow. You've got him right next to the home where the 4 college students were murdered. So what else do you need? You can get him outside the house, right? So that's important, to get him in the neighborhood. It's a college town. You know, there's a lot of people moving around, people seeing things, people, you know, driving in, driving out for different reasons. But he's from Pullman, Washington. Does he have a reason to be outside the house? Now, something we've learned, 2 people survived who were inside the house. We know there was a DoorDash delivery as well. So you now have to get this defendant inside that house. And how do you do that? How do you prove to this jury that he's actually inside the home? Again, more circumstantial evidence, evidence of circumstances that say, okay, you put it together, that would put him there. And I think what was unsealed today in a search warrant could lead investigators there, could get the prosecution there, could get the jury there to be convinced that, yeah, this defendant, this suspect, was inside that home and has a connection to these victims. So today, an unsealing of a search warrant, and part of that is a list of the items that were actually seized. So let's take a look at some of these items. We begin with one nitrite type black glove. Black glove, that's kind of like a surgical glove. I mean, if you're going to commit a murder, that's something you would certainly want. You've got a Walmart receipt with one Dickies tag. We don't know what's on the receipt, but is he buying something that could be connected to all of this? Two Marshall's receipts. Again, we don't know what's on the receipt, but investigators do. This one is fascinating, a dust container from a Bissell Power Force vacuum. Again, inside the suspect's home. Was he cleaning anything up? What would be inside that vacuum? 8 possible hair strands. Whose hair? Whose hair? Will they be able to match someone to these hair strands? And could they possibly match it to one of the victims? There would be no innocent.
I'm glad you asked that, Isabel, because I meant to stop it and tell you guys about the Marshall's receipt. So Vinny says, that we don't know what's on the Marshall's receipt, but the cops will. Well, not such a, no, they really won't. So Marshall's is owned, I believe, by the same company like TJ Maxx, Home Good, Marshall's, Michael's, all of those kind of stores that are grouped into that. I don't know if Michael's is in there, but they have a system for their merchandise, but it's just by class, and it's not by down to what it actually is. So unless they get them on camera picking the item up, and looking at it, they're not going to probably, or at the counter when they're scanning items through, they're not going to be able to tell just by the receipt, which sucks. Because that company is such a big company, and they're one of those wholesale companies. They sell brands from all different stores. So they just kind of fluff their stores, shove it in there, and then they don't really have a system that tracks it per se. I worked for a company that was a small boutique, and they didn't even track their merchandise down to the color, or the size. They only had it down to the style of a shirt. So it just kind of sucks when it comes to this. But the Walmart receipt, that's gold money. That is money right there, because you can go to any Walmart, and they have the best cameras ever. Oh, thank you, Teresa, for the $5 super chat for my Target shopping. I'm going to go buy something from the store. I like their little $5 thing, but I haven't been in there in a while. I've got some little vases back here, but you guys can't see them. I'm a Target queen. I love me some Target. I was going to take a video while I was in there today. I just think it's so funny that you said, for Target shopping, thank you. I appreciate that so much. But yeah, so Walmart, they're going to know. The Walmarts. Did I say the Walmarts on there? Okay, yeah, the Walmarts. Did I say that? Because I might know. Because I don't know. Walmart makes me nervous wreck. I have, you guys, a lot of you guys know I'm blind in one eye. My first time in Walmart after my car accident was in a wheelchair, and I had a panic attack. My mom had to wheel me out. It was so bad. I've probably been in Walmart since then 10 times, maybe. And that was 9 years ago. I can't go to Walmart. It scares me. But Target isn't so bad. I don't know why. Maybe it's the big shopping carts. I can run over people with those Target shopping carts better. So yeah, so I wanted to tell you about the Marshall's receipt, but the Walmart receipt will be that'll be a good one to have. And we looked it up last time, and we talked about this on the channel, and they talk about this actually in the video, that Dickies do make the full cargo zip up, where it looks like almost what a mechanic would wear. So yes, you worked at Target for it. Oh yeah. That's me. I was in Target today and where was I at? I was located somewhere. I was in the electronics. I went in there for nothing that was electronic. I don't even know what I went in there for now, guys. Oh, water. I went in there for water. And I'm standing by a TV that's on clearance at one point. I'm like, get out of here, Tanya. Just get out of here. I don't need a TV. We just got a new one. I was looking though. All right, I'll go ahead and play the video again. If you're just now joining us, that's just me we're just talking about Target and how much we love it. But we were going over the Marshall's receipts, how they don't really have a system for their merchandise as well as like Walmart would. Let me know in the comments below if you've ever worked at like a Home Goods, a TJ Maxx, like a Marshall's. Let me know how they do their receipts because I think they just classify them like by department. I had a TJ Maxx receipt and I don't know where it would be now. I think I threw it away.
Innocent reason for one of the victim's strands of hair to be in his apartment, would there? A Fire TV stick with a cord and plug. This one, I don't have a Fire TV stick, but my understanding is you can store information on there. You can go shopping on Amazon. There's other things you can do with it. Maybe you can look up news reports as well. I don't know what information they'll be able to get from that, but seems like it's significant. This one, wow, one possible animal hair strand. Did he have a pet? One of the victims had a pet. One possible hair, another possible hair, and another possible hair. If any of these match those victims, huge for the prosecution. Computer tower, we know the age we live in. There's so much potential information from a computer tower. What are you searching? What are you looking at? What are you reading? How about social media? What pictures are you browsing? Where are you? When are you there? When are you in your apartment? When are you not there? Unbelievable information from a computer. Then we've got three more things. A collection of a dark red spot collected without testing. Red spot, is it blood? Whose blood is it? 2 cuttings from an uncased pillow of reddish brown stain. The largest stain has been tested. We don't know the results. 2 top and bottom mattress cover packaged separately, both labeled C, multiple stains. What are the stains? Who are they connected to? I'm telling you, folks, this could be enormous for the prosecution. They already have great evidence, but you don't know what any particular juror's their own concept of what a reasonable doubt is. And if they can't put the defendant inside that house, that could be the reasonable doubt for one or more jurors. So it's significant. Let's bring in Court TV legal correspondent Chanley Painter. Not in Idaho tonight, but right here on set. Great to see you, Chanley.
Tonight,
and
inside.
Warm. Exactly. So tell us more about these documents that were unsealed today. This is big.
It was huge, Vinny, because remember last week on your show, I'm telling you about the order to seal this affidavit of the apartment, and we were speculating what all it could reveal to us that they were looking for inside the apartment, and now we have our hands on most of it. And the reason they unsealed this yesterday, according to the file stamp, is because it's a different state, Washington State, Whitman County, where his apartment is, in Moscow. They cited the Moscow affidavit, the arrest affidavit, being so extensive, 18 pages, that this really didn't. It's pretty much known what is in this affidavit. So they released it, and as it's unsealed, we learned that they were looking on December 30th, where we have video of the Washington State University Police Department searching the apartment on the 2nd floor, Unit 201, taking boxes out from that apartment, spending time doing that at the request of Moscow Police Department, looking for, like what you said, trace evidence. Cell phone, other cell phones, computers, digital towers, things like that. But now, I told you about the first 18 pages. This affidavit goes page 19 through 31. So here's some things that stick out to me that we maybe didn't know. So on page 19, where it picks up with something new, it says the Keene Road residence contained a significant amount of blood from the victims, including spatter and cast off, which is the bloodstain pattern resulting from blood drops released from an object, the murder weapon, due to its motion, which, based on the training of this officer, makes it likely that this evidence was transferred onto Kohberger's person, his clothing, or his shoes, So that's why we're seeing these items seized of clothes at his home, the receipts of clothes purchased possibly that he may have worn. You know, Dickies, they make bibs that covers most of your body, right? That could have been what he purchased. So they're looking for, and we knew it was a bloody crime scene, right? I showed you what we presumed to be blood leaking out the walls
Out
outside.
of the side, yeah. Shocking.
So a couple other things that stood out to me in this affidavit. So we knew that he was a student there, but we didn't know for sure based on his cross-country trip to Pennsylvania with his dad if he intended to do the spring semester, return to school. That's a long drive.
Right.
So this affidavit does say that he intended to return.
He was going to stay.
He was going to stay.
He was going to stay right in Washington.
For the next semester, is what this affidavit reads. Also revealing to me, Vinny, they did not find a murder weapon in this apartment. And with the gag order, we don't know if they found it. They wouldn't tell us, but we can know for sure that at the time this search warrant was written, they didn't have it, and then they didn't seize it there. They didn't find it. So that's still missing. We knew he lived alone, but this confirms he lived alone. I was at that apartment building knocking on neighbors' doors. We pretty much knew that. And you mentioned pet hair. There's no mention of a pet from any of the neighbors I talked to. And I think there'd be more than just one hair if there was actually a pet living
If there was
there.
a pet there, and there'd be a pet, right? I mean, when he's arrested or there'd be a pet in that room, in that apartment.
Exactly. So, and then something else, this search warrant also requests to search his office on campus. His apartment's on campus too, but at the criminology building. I've been there and did some sleuthing. We went inside the building. We tried to find his office, Vinny. It's in the basement, but the outer door was locked, but you could see kind of through where the students' offices would be located. So they searched that, but this doesn't reveal anything that they seized from that search in this particular unsealed document. And then finally, I know we talked about this last week, I was interested to see if this mentioned or seized any shoes because of that latent footprint or shoe print that was found at the crime scene. Were they looking for him to have that style of shoe? It's not specifically mentioned in here, and they didn't seize, obviously, any shoes.
Yeah, I mean, if they saw a shoe that matched, they would have seized it, and unless their shoes were found somewhere else, which I couldn't imagine, or were they the shoes that he was wearing when he was arrested?
True.
Shoes could be where the murder weapon is as well.
Exactly.
You know, which could be pretty much anywhere.
And what was bought on the receipts or at the stores.
Exactly. So those receipts are crucial, and they know what's on the receipt, but we don't know what's on the receipt. So, you know, you look at this. What are your thoughts about the Fire Stick and the TV? That was the only one that's a little confusing.
I don't have one of those either, but I hear that you can do many things with this. Search the internet with it, you know, watch things, store things with it. Even illegal things I've researched, maybe you can download.
Right.
I'm not sure, but that's interesting. Who knows what they could find on that? And as we know, they could.
Do any of you guys have a Fire Stick? I don't have one. We have a Roku, so let me know what you if you have one, what all you can do, and if it's just like a Roku. I'm assuming it is. Just, you know, you can browse the internet, you can stream TV shows, just things like that. You can stream probably like Netflix, Hulu, things of that nature. So.
You can also find deleted things on a lot of these electronics as well.
Which,
so,
again, I mean, he's studying this stuff. He's probably going to try to cover his tracks, but you know, everything we're looking at, he didn't do the greatest job.
Exactly.
If in fact he is the killer here, because everything seems to be pointing in that direction. And it all started with the video, the cell phone, and now we'll see what they were able to get. It'll be interesting to see if there's any blood or hair that is connected to any of the victims that could have been brought back from the scene. All right, Chanley, great job. It's great that she can be warm tonight, and we will speak again. When we come back, folks, we are going to go through this evidence piece by piece with our experts, our forensic experts, our investigators, to get a better idea of what it could actually lead to, what it could mean, and again, answer the ultimate question. Could it put this defendant in contact with one or more of the victims? We've got all that, plus coming up next hour.
There's like a part right here. I'm just going to fast forward it because he just talks about a couple other cases that they had, on the docket. So, and then it'll get back to Bryan in this case. But I wanted to tell you guys what I was doing so you guys weren't like, what is she doing? They're just talking about like Murdaugh.
We usually go to Idaho a lot, like for Dutch Bros or Target. So like knowing it was just like right down the road, like 10 minutes, that I go there like once or twice a week, it like made me like less willing to go out there. Like I would have to like go out there with somebody. I think he like actually lives really close to my apartment, so that even felt like even more scary.
Yeah, that's really scary when an accused mass murderer lives close to your apartment, the man that everyone was looking for. Well, now he's in custody, and today the search warrant and the probable cause affidavit attached to that search warrant and the items seized from his apartment was unsealed. Unsealed. So I want to go through these pieces of evidence with my experts. Let me bring in my guests. Joining me tonight in Columbia, South Carolina, retired medical examiner, forensic pathologist, former law enforcement officer, Dr. Michelle Dupree. We're just connecting up with her in just a second. In Oceanside, New York, Professor Emeritus of Forensic Science at John Jay College of Criminal Justice, Dr. Lawrence Kobylinski. And in Salt Lake City, Utah, private investigator Jason Jensen. Great to have you both here. Dr. Dupree will be with us in just a second. Let me begin with the first three items on the list. You've got one nitrite-type black glove, one Walmart receipt with one Dickies tag, two Marshall's receipts, and then I want to remind everyone what's in this probable cause affidavit. As Chanley reported to us, the King Road residence contained a significant amount of blood from the victims, including spatter and cast-off bloodstained pattern resulting from blood drops released from an object due to its motion, which, based on my training, makes it likely that this evidence was transferred to the defendant's person, clothing or shoes. Also, the detected shoe print showed a diamond-shaped pattern similar to the pattern of a Vans-type shoe sole just outside the door of Dylan's bedroom located on the second floor. All right, Dr. Kobylinski, let's begin with that black glove. This, again, is not found at the scene, but is found, and Dr. Dupree is with us. Great to see you. And this is not found at the scene, Dr. K, but it's found at the apartment of the suspect. What could possibly be on that black nitrate glove, and how difficult would it be to get evidence from it? I'm not hearing Dr. K. Is he muted? Are we muted? We're checking on that. 1 second.
Back?
He's back. We got you.
Okay, I'm back. I think that the glove is not a nitrite glove. It's a nitrile glove. And its significance is not really clear. There may very well be some evidence on it. It'll be chemically tested. It'll be looked at with all kinds of different lighting systems to see if there are anything obvious, any stains, any kind of chemicals. I'm really not sure that it's that crucial a piece of evidence, to be honest with you. Although we know that the killer was wearing gloves at the time that this was done. But there's nothing to compare, though, because we do not have the evidence from the crime scene.
Jason Jensen, Walmart receipt, two Marshall's receipts, perhaps for clothing. We know he was clad in black that night. Might be able to put two and two together here.
Right. If he purchased these clothes in order to commit a crime, they're hoping that they can go back to these particular stores, see any surveillance footage to see exactly what he bought. If it's all black attire, it's kind of self-explanatory. He wanted to be able to move in the dark of night.
And we know that Dylan, the witness, saw the killer clad in black. All right, let's get to some more of these items that were seized from the apartment. A dust container from a Bissell Power Force vacuum, 8 possible hair strands, 1 Fire TV stick with a cord and plug, 1 possible animal hair strand, 3 more possible hair strands. Don't forget that Murphy, Kaylee's dog, was in the room when police responded to the house on Sunday around noon. We've got there you see Murphy in the background there. So Murphy was at the scene. Dr. Michelle Dupree, let's start with the human hair. What are your thoughts about it looks like 11 possible strands of hair. What can be done with that?
Those actual hair strands can be checked for DNA and checked against the victims as well as the alleged suspect.
And is it definitive? You have a hair strand. That's it. That's all you need.
If you have the end of the hair strand, you may test that for DNA, and that would be definitive.
What if you don't have the end?
It's much more difficult. You can test for likenesses and consistent with, but it's not necessarily definitive.
Dr. K, what do you think about this animal hair? What can we do with that?
It could be very significant. You talk to any pet owner, and they will tell you that part of their pet is on their clothing. I look at my jacket right now. I probably have my cat's hair all over me. It clings, static electricity. There's a
He looks like a gentleman that would have cat hair all over him. But just to let you know that if the volume might be a little, or like the sound might be a little bad, but that's him. That's not my working. My sound's actually doing perfect. But no, I just wanted to let you guys know because it just cuts out a little bit on his little voice. But he doesn't talk for very much longer.
A lot of literature on DNA analysis of various domesticated animals. People often want their animals, to be proven to be, the right breed. Makes it worth a lot more. So, there's a lot of DNA work, and clearly, if you find a hair, dog hair, amongst that evidence that was just collected, and it matches DNA-wise the hair of Murphy, that puts him at the scene.
That devastating. I mean, could it come down to one dog hair for this jury? Amazing. All right, let me ask you, Jason Jensen, about this Fire Stick, this Fire TV stick with a cord and plug. What type of information do you think they could garner there?
A Fire Stick will actually have apps for your TV that you're using, and sometimes you can have browser history on it, and you can also use it as a flash drive because it has 8 gigabytes of memory. So oftentimes if I'm in a pinch, I'll use any kind of device that has a USB port to transfer a file. So it's entirely possible that he hides specific files like photo images or something like that on the Fire Stick. So it's worth collecting, if nothing else, just to rule out the possibilities.
Dr. Michelle Dupree, your thoughts about the dust container from the vacuum at the suspect's apartment?
Well, this is very interesting because there's something called Locard's theory of exchange. And what that means is any person coming into the crime scene brings something with them from their home, their car, their yard, but they also take something with them when they leave that crime scene. And so analyzing that dust is going to give us possibly some trace evidence that can be linked back to the suspect, to his house, to his car, or whatever.
Dr. K, how difficult will it be to go through I've never seen this before, but a dust container from a vacuum?
Oh, it's hard. It's done under magnification. Sometimes microscopes have to be used. But yeah, trace evidence is very important. And if they do find something that links to the crime scene, again, you've got very, very important evidence there. In fact, crime scene people actually use handheld vacuums to go through a scene to pick up trace evidence. So here it's done already. He's left it for us.
And I wonder if the car, I'm sure the car must have been cleaned out, and I wonder if he used this for the car, for his room afterwards. All right, let's take a look at this one now. The computer tower, to me, that could be a treasure trove. The application for the search warrant, they were asking or looking for any images, digital or on paper, or of any other format which show Ethan Chapin, Kaylee Goncalves, Xana Kernodle, Madison Mogan, BF, one of the roommates, and/or DM, or the 1122 King Road house and/or surrounding neighborhood. They also were looking for data compilations, whether digital, electronic, showing an interest in or planning of murder, violent assault, stabbing, and/or cutting of people. Data compilations showing details of the crime scene house, its location, or information about any of the victims. Jason, again, this is another very significant potential source for information.
Oh, yeah. Either before the crime or after the crime. It's good for both, because if he's interested in how to dispose of a body or something like that, like the Brian Walsh situation, that could be in part of his search memory. If he's had social media contacts with any of the victims, which we know in recent reportings that there's supposedly some kind of contact that he had with one of the victims multiple times sliding into the DM is what they keep saying. So if he's had any contacts with the victims, if he's searching for himself afterwards, like he's obsessed, any new news about the killer, it's all circumstantial, suggesting that he's got something to be concerned over.
Absolutely. We're just about out of time, but Dr. K, the dark red spot, the two cuttings from the pillow, the mattress cover packaged separately with multiple stains, how would the blood of the victims potentially end up in his apartment?
Well, he may have transferred blood from his body or his clothing or somehow into his apartment. And maybe got onto his pillow and his mattress cover. It's really hard to say, but the main thing is it's very simple to test and determine whose blood it is, if it's blood.
And again,
and if that links to a victim, that's you're home free.
It's game over. That's game over. So they've got chances with the potential for blood, hair, plus all that digital evidence. Dr. Michelle Dupree, Dr. Kobylinski, Jason Jensen, thank you all so much.
Okay. I don't think it'll play anything, so I'm just going to pause it though. There we go. Okay, so I wanted to show you guys that was the search warrant from Kohberger's apartment back, when they searched it. I think it was January, I want to say, beginning of January, maybe. So thank you all for being here. I really, truly appreciate it. Dinky, that's actually what I was going to say. So he said, anyone else remember them reporting that he cleaned his car almost obsessively when he got to his parents? Said it was odd, yet he leaves all this junk inside. That's what I was wondering too. And I was actually wondering about like the vacuum that they took from his house, if he had used that on his car in any way. Also, they did take a shop vac from his parents' home. So we're going to go over that. We'll go over that here in a few minutes. And they took out like a shop vac from his parents' home. So I'm wondering if the items that they took from his parents' home were items that were just collected throughout the house, or if those were items that were specifically located in Kohberger's like bedroom, whether like he lived in the basement and he had like multiple like little living area there, or, I'm just wondering where they got all this stuff, because they even have a medical grade computer. And I'm not sure if that's because his sister works in the mental health field, but it's really old one, but it's like a medical computer. It's not like a regular old desktop that you would just have at home. Oh yeah, so the fire sticks do? Yeah. I would think that they would have something like that too. That's so crazy. There's just so much digital evidence nowadays. It's hard to really get away with anything at all. I feel like anyway. Compared to, I don't know. I wasn't really around in the 80s, but I was born in the 80s. But I feel like back in like the 80s or early 90s, it was a little easier, 70s, because they didn't have DNA as they didn't use it like they do today. They only had like blood typing, so they could tell you if you were like O positive, B, whatever, A, but they could tell you the type, but they couldn't tell you the DNA. Now they can literally just throw your DNA in a you know, in a data bank, and they can come find you through your ancestors, which is even scary. That's even scarier. Frank lives, you live close to a Target but never go. Oh, I live right across the street from one. It's bad news. Oh my gosh, that was one of your customers last night. That was funny. That was really funny. I laughed really hard about that. I thought that was cute. Yeah, they took so much digital evidence from him too. And we'll go over that stuff. So this video I didn't watch this one, and I thought that we would have watched it, but we must have missed it. But I watched it earlier and I was like, oh, I don't remember this. So this is just the items that they took from Bryan Kohberger's car. I didn't want to we read them off the other day, but those ones were pretty legible, so I figured I could just show you a video for that. And then I wanted to show you the TikTok that the girl did of the 3D animation. She did it, and then Banfield has it, but I can't find the video on this girl's TikTok, but she somehow found it. And it just shows the car entering the house and how it entered, and then, you know, what happened inside the house, kind of like what her 3D animation would be of it. And it just gives you a better view of it. Helped me with the car part, where, you know, he was turning in the middle of the road, like doing 3-point turns. And then he was like, wait, I'm not turning around. I'm just going to go straight. It helped me have a better understanding of the way that he was moving that night. So let me go ahead and play her here.
Getting a closer look at one of the search warrants in connection to the Idaho student murders. This one from Bryan Kohberger's parents' Pennsylvania home, garage, and car. Investigators seized more than 60 items in all, including a gun, 3 empty magazine clips, and a pocket knife. 2 knives, a Glock handgun with 3 empty magazines, along with a treasure trove of computers, hard drives, and handwritten notes. Just some of the dozens of items law enforcement hauled out of the Pennsylvania home where Bryan Kohberger was arrested late last year. A newly unsealed arrest warrant offering the clearest picture yet of what police were looking for in Kohberger's parents' house, what they found and what they didn't. The very first item listed, a knife, no manufacturer, description, or other details included. No indication if it could be the murder weapon that police are still believed to be searching for, a fixed blade knife, the sheath of which was left behind at the scene of the murders. A Smith & Wesson pocket knife taken from the house does not appear to match the description of the murder weapon. The warrant shows authorities were looking for any signs of blood, bodily fluids, or other DNA, like hair or fingerprints, but no such items were taken from the house. They were also searching for anything that may have belonged to any of the victims, as well as anything that may have indicated Kohberger was watching them or staking out their home. Police did seize 4 laptops, a cell phone, and several other electronic devices, along with dozens of articles of clothing. They also found, quote, a book with underlining on page 118, a green leafy substance in a plastic bag, black face masks, black gloves, and a black hat, which matches the description one of the surviving roommates gave to police, saying the attacker was, quote, clad in black clothing and a mask. Search crews also took, quote, a man's world drawing, a note from Bryan to Montana, and a note from Dad to Bryan. Investigators also tore apart the car Kohberger drove from Washington State to Pennsylvania with his father weeks after the murders, hauling away almost everything inside, including seats, headrests, even the gas and brake pedal. All right, let's bring in criminal defense attorney Richard Block. Richard, thank you for your time today. So we went through that list of items seized, the black clothing, the knives, really stand out to me. Is there a high probability these items were directly involved that night?
Well, we certainly couldn't say anything about probability right now. We don't know if those were the knife, if they were the clothing, and obviously we have a long list of clothing that was seized here today. They're gonna be looking and trying to match that. I'm sure all that stuff is sitting at a crime lab right now, and they're going over it with a fine-tooth comb, trying to find blood, hair, anything else that might tie to that crime scene.
Absolutely. Well, you know, some of these items, you know, it's a little odd because the gun, you know, full descriptions, manufacturer, serial number, but then there are other items, it just says knife or documents. And one that definitely stands out is what we had in that piece there, book with underlining on page 118. Richard, is there a reason some of these items would be described that way, almost to maybe withhold some of the specifics?
Well, that one certainly is an odd one. I couldn't tell you why they wrote book with underlining on page 118 and didn't give you the name of the book or a description of what type of book is, which they did in other places. They described what sounded like some textbooks and other things and notebooks and other places. Who knows on that one? It could certainly be to hide it, or it could be something as simple as the cover page was ripped off and it didn't have a title on the top of the book.
Very good point. How damaging could this evidence end up being to his defense?
Well, I think certainly they're looking for two things, obviously, here is motive, and they're looking for any other evidence that ties into the crime scene. Finding of blood on some of the clothing would be incredibly damaging, and motive would help with what is largely so far a circumstantial case and tying all those facts together. If they found some sort of writing that indicated his desire to commit murders or something like that, or that would certainly be potentially very damaging.
And what do you think? You know, they took apart essentially the car, right? We know that they took the gas pedal, the brake pedal. Would there be some reason, though, to have kept the car intact?
Well, they're taking it apart because they're looking for anything that might be hidden inside of it. This is the kind of thing what we see often when cars are stopped for drug stops, that the whole car gets torn apart. Because in a car, most normal people don't realize that there are plenty of places to hide things inside a car where you wouldn't normally see them. So that's why they're tearing the car apart. They're looking through it for anything that might be in there that, or of course, they're also going to be looking for blood and other things that might be found in the carpet or, you know, or underneath a latch or something like that in the car.
Absolutely. All right, Richard, thank you for that. Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find News Nation on your
Thank you, Frank. I will have to buy some. I know I'm gonna have a little Target shopping spree going on, guys. I can't wait. I'm excited. I love Target. I could be there every day of my life. I should just work there probably, which is kind of ironic because in the wintertime, I wear a lot of I look like a lumberjack half the time. I wear a lot of black and red plaid, and that's their uniform over there. You know, you just have to wear red. So a lot of the people that are our Target, they always have that on. I'm just waiting for someone to stop me one day and be like, "Miss, where's this at?" I would just tell them. I would just say, "Oh, aisle, 32C," because that's how good I am. I really probably have it like that. I always look up stuff whenever I'm on whenever I'm there, so I don't have to ask people. I love the fact that you can do that now. You can just look it up on their website and it'll tell you the aisle. So this is all of the stuff that we deciphered today. If you guys haven't seen the the search warrant for Bryan Kohberger's parents' property, the first page from 1 through 19 is pretty legible. Once you get past 19, though, it's like a whole new ballpark. It's almost like someone else took over the handwriting job. I think that the officer was probably just his hand was probably getting tired because he had to write so much stuff out that he was just like, I'm not doing it. So I decided to write it all out for us. So I keep disappearing trying to get the dog settled. Oh, what's going on with your dog? Why is it not settled? Is it storming? Oh, my dogs are settled. They're doing good. Speaking of dogs, I'll tell you a quick little side note. My dog and my cat play together. They are the two cutest things in the world when they play. The dog will jump up and down and play with the cat. Be very gentle, doesn't bite him, doesn't do anything. Vincent leaves today and it's like the wild, wild west happened. He leaves for 10 minutes. The dog has the cat pinned to the ground. The cat's crying. I'm like, I'm about to cry. I'm like, so my little dog was in trouble today. She's not little either. She's 40 pounds, but my cat was scared and she's never done that. My cat's 14. So that's my baby. And I was like, I will, the devil came out of me, I was like, I will kill you, dog. But she knew she did something wrong. I think what happened was the cat was so excited because he just ate and he was running around like a maniac. And I think the dog just got hyped up to that super hyperness to where she didn't know that she was playing too rough. And she was playing rough. And I was like, man, your Target must be much better than Target here in town. Seriously, the junk, the clothes are cheap. Oh yeah, I don't do the Target clothes. Their clothes are way too expensive. Don't buy Target clothes. That's just ridiculous. No, no, don't. I don't ever buy their clothes. Their clothes are very expensive, I think. Like I went in there and I saw a jumper one day and I was like, I want that jumper. It's $40. I was like, it's $40. I can go and no, I was like, because I'm a business owner. So I thought if I put that back into my business, what can I get for, like $200 or, like I can get 6 of these. Like, let's try to like balance it out. So that's what I did. But I will go through the list with you guys. I won't take too long either, but we did decipher it. So number 1's knife. Number 2, and I'm not going to read like the actual numbers, but book with underlining on page 118, which I'm very curious about. There are a couple things that I'm very curious to know about, and I want your guys' opinion. So I like made them bold a little bit. But AT&T bill for Bryan Kohberger, Glock 22, which is a 40 caliber Glock, Smith & Wesson pocket knife, folder containing vehicle paperwork. I think this is supposed to be Acer laptop. I think I put that in wrong. I did. I just forgot to see. Acer laptop, and I didn't put the model number, but it's listed there. Green leafy substance in green container, which I thought it was flowers. I don't know why I would think that. And you guys were like, Tanya, it's weed. I don't know where I got flowers from. I think it's because I was thinking of his parents' home, and I was thinking of what your parents keep, and I think that's where I got that. But documents, green leafy substance in plastic bag. And that's another thing too. That's a question I have. If you guys were at your parents' house, and you're driving from Washington, you're going to your parents' home in Pennsylvania, Poconos. If you were a smoker, like a weed smoker, right? Wouldn't you keep the weed like in your car so like your parents wouldn't find it or smell it? Like, or am I just thinking too far into that? Maybe the parents just didn't care. I don't know. But I would think he would. I'm going to try to make this a little bit bigger for you guys too. I don't know if it's big enough. But they had white paper with password on it, power cable, cell phone. So they do have a cell phone. It doesn't say that it's broke. A lot of the stuff that they put, like if it was like, I think that if it was like something wrong with it, they did. 3 Glock 40 caliber magazines that were empty. They found some books, black face mask, prescription, black gloves, 1 black hat, 1 black mask. So that here to me, do you think that the black face mask up here is different? I think it's a different maybe material than the 1 black mask here. Or maybe he would group them all together. I don't know. Personal identifying documents, which I'm not sure what those would be because you think that you'd keep all that stuff in your car too. So I don't know. Wonder if they're his personal identifying documents. New Balance shoes. Then 22 A through D is 4 dark colored jackets, and then 23 A through C, which I messed that up. Oops, is 3 dark colored shirts, and then 24 they found 2 dark colored pairs of pants. So they didn't take any of this kind of stuff when they went to his house. Because we just went over that search warrant. They took like with the glove. I would have remembered exactly what they took. The tower, things of that nature. The pillow casing with like the brownish red marks on it, the hairs, fibers, things like that. I don't think they took any clothing, but they loaded up on some clothing when they were in Pennsylvania. So I'm wondering if he was traveling with those clothes. I mean, that would be dumb. And then he was planning on getting rid of stuff in the Poconos. I don't know. Number 25 is a clear plastic glove. 26 is 1 Asus laptop with damage. 27 is 1 HP laptop with damage. One of those could say without damage. It's hard to read. So I think it says with. I think they both say with damage though. Yeah, a gun. Yeah, I think the gun isn't like. I don't think the gun is anything too much. You know what I mean? Because like he lives in Poconos. He could have just wanted a gun to shoot. I don't know. Well, I have a lot of friends that have guns. My brother has a gun. He has a concealed carry. His dad looks like he smoked something. I was going back in the chat. Oh, hi, Leslie. I had to go back up. What Pam say? Or your parents also smoked. Did I miss the first half of your message? Well, I know that I know that like whenever I would smoke, like whenever I was like 19 and I was trying to be like sneaky from my parents, I never brought it in the house. I don't think I ever had it though. I never had it like that. But I would never like, I don't know. I would always try to be sneaky, you know? You don't want to go in your house and like smell of it. Your parents would be like, "What have you been doing?" I don't, you know. I remember being like 17, 18, 19 even, and being like terrified of my parents. And I couldn't do eye drops in my eyes. I was a funny kid. We all experiment, guys. Some of us just decide to keep with it. So then the 28 is going to be record of sale of the Glock 22. So record of sale. And then number 29, it says item photographed but not taken. Like, I don't know what it is. That's all it says on that line. So let me know if you guys have any ideas of what number 29 would be, if it's an item photographed but not taken. I read in one of the Reddit subreddits, they thought maybe it was a safe that was like bolted down or something that you couldn't like physically remove, but I don't know. Yeah, but he's 28, really can't stop him. That's true. His dad looks like he could have been a hippie, maybe. Did you say that was your dad in your picture? He looks happy petting that cat. That cat looks really cute. I'm looking at the cat on the picture now. I love looking at your pictures. Oh my gosh, you have chihuahuas. Oh my gosh, my cat would be, my cat would be out. He would pack his bags and he would be like, okay, I'm gone. He likes them. I think he likes the dogs that they're bigger and everything. It's just the fact that the one just like really went after him. Well, actually on a live, one day I had you guys on live and I forgot I had this door open and my dog was up here on the couch, and you'll see it I don't know which live it is, so you'd have to go watch all my lives. But she's on this couch and I have it muted, but my camera's on, and she literally sometimes she'll get like this wild hair up her butt and she'll jump after the cat and she'll make this really, really bad growling. And she's a Weimaraner, so she's huge. But she stops herself before she gets to the cat. Like, she would never hurt it. Like, she just gets this, like, I think it's just part of her just being a dog. And my cat has trained these dogs. He's bit them when they were puppies. They know not to mess with them. But the dog didn't mess with them today. But that'll probably be the last time. I told him, I was like, just next time, just bite her. Like, talking to the cat like he can understand me. But I feel like after 14 years, your animals you can start to communicate with each other. Number 30 was something that I thought was kind of interesting too. It was a note and desk. 31, criminal psychology book, documents in DeSalle's University notebook, which I'm wondering what's in the notebook. Extra large Columbia fleece is number 33. And then this one, number 34, it says a man's hand, or it says world drawing. There was like I thought it said a hand drawing, but some people were saying world drawing. I don't think that makes sense though, but I don't think a man's hand drawing really makes sense either. I guess it's drawing by hand. Like, oh, he'll be 91, Ina, your dad will. Look at her dad in that picture. Oh, he just looks content petting that cat. Oh my gosh. Yes, no. We have a shower here, it's like a dog, like it's a whole room for dog baths and stuff, and you can like shower. We live in an apartment, like, and it's just like 2 doors down, and we take them over there, but Vincent does all that. I don't do the dogs because they won't go one at a time. They refuse to go anywhere without each other. So he has to take them over by themselves. But the Weimaraner loves it because she knows that's where she knows where there's extra treats are. They're not treats that she has at home. So 35 really confused me too. It says either 10 or it says ID cards inside of a glove, inside of a box. So to me, that just sounded like, and this was actually, had an S on it. It was ID cards, I believe. Let me make sure, because I wanted to make sure that these were exactly. What number is that? Because to me, that's just, yeah, it has an S on it. So Because like you don't keep your old ID cards, don't you give them back whenever you get a new ID card? Like when you go to, renew your license or whatever, don't you give them back your old one? I thought you did, but maybe not. Yeah, that's what I thought. I thought maybe if you put if you put a silencer on it, he maybe, but no. Yeah, no, no, they are brutal, but we went over them before too. Like that would just be a swifter way to do it, but you believe the drawing is of a man's mind? Because it says on there like oh, I'd like to see the picture then. Let me see. Because it said like a world drawing or a hand drawing, and I'm like, what does it mean? Really, your dog likes a groomer? My dog doesn't. She needs her claws clipped for like the last forever ago, and we can't even do it. Sorry, I was just reading your. Oh no, not your Pomeranians. My friend has a 16-year-old Pom. That Sally, she has a mind of her own, and you don't mess with her. Like. She grew up with those dogs. It was very funny. Okay, so yeah, let me know about what you think about the ID cards inside of a glove, inside of a box, because to me that looks like you're hiding something if you're putting it inside of something, like a glove. Like I don't know. Various criminology books, notes, license cards, dark colored hat, black gloves. Number 39 is a Sea Cape Barracuda 1 terabyte hard drive, and then. That's number A, and then number B is Samsung solid state hard drive. So those are both hard drives. But number 40, it says a black box for Samsung 960 Evo. But me and Vincent, we talked over these. These are just packaging boxes, we're thinking. They're not actually their devices. Vincent knew there's no such thing as a black box for a Samsung. That's not a thing. It's just like, the packaging for it. So then you have the Intel Optane computer hardware enhancement box, that's packaging there. And then 2 pairs of black gloves and one black knit hat. Do most guys wear this many dark colored clothes? And I wonder how long he was going to be staying at his parents' house. I think, 15 days? And to me, that's just, I don't know. Oh, yeah, maybe the ID cards from schools. Oh, yeah, that makes sense. Maybe, yeah. You're right. Maybe from like DeSalles and stuff. I think he went to another school in Pennsylvania too. So that makes sense. And maybe even high school. I don't know if they give you those in high school now. They may give you like an ID card for you. I think they used to do that for your car. I graduated in 2004. Don't tell anybody. Yeah, that sounds better. Yeah, that's probably what it is. They did take a lot of dark color stuff from them though. Dark green short sleeve shirt, black long sleeve shirt, black sweatshirt, gray jacket, 2 pairs of black pants, 1 pair of black jeans, 2 pairs of black jeans. I don't know why he did it like that, but he grouped them instead of just doing 3. He did them as like that. 2 black long sleeve shirts, 2 pairs of black pants, 1 gray jacket, 1 gray knit / felt hat, 1 black glove. So I wonder if this 1 black glove, I mean, I doubt it is, but what if it's like the one, like the other surgical glove, since they found that 1 nitrile or whatever it was called glove. But I doubt it, but maybe, you never know. But he does have a lot of gloves. They took a motherboard, Washington State University paperwork, note from Bryan to Montana, who I don't know if that's like Montana, the state, or if it's like Montana is a person, because that could be a person's name. What do you guys think? Do you think it's a note from Bryan from Montana? It could be like just a note that Bryan sent to his parents when he maybe visited Montana. Craftsman shop vac. Yeah, I want to know why he didn't do it. Bryan didn't do. I want to know why. Yeah, you can give. Let's see your reasonings. We're here to listen. Because allegedly he's in the hot seat for it, but we never, But that's just allegedly. But the evidence is piling on pretty thick. If we're only getting a sliver of what they have, because they're not going to give us a lot. I think that they have a lot more. Mind drawing. Okay. I think that's what I thought it said, right? Let me see, actually, because I think that's what I thought it said instead of world. Because I was looking somewhere else and someone else said they thought it was world. And I'm like, no, I don't think that's what it says. Yeah, it's a hand drawing. That's what I thought too. See, I'm glad that I went with my instincts. Well, because we were looking, we were doing like a side by side of someone did this on Reddit, and like the note from Bryan from Montana, they said the name was Montana Anna, and with like an N on the end of it. I don't even know what that was, and I was like, clearly that's not what it says. But so like that was just like one thing I could see. So we literally sat and worked on this for a while today, and try not to get any outside influences. Do you know what I mean? Craftsman shop vac, medical documents, court documents, note to dad from Bryan. I am wanting to know what is in that note. Number 50 has got me intrigued. I want to know why he didn't, because like if he had a note for his father, why didn't he give it to him? Like cue Jeopardy music. That's so funny. I could do the music if you want. But thanks, Free Spirit, for saying that. I thought that's what it said, but I was just, I'm working with the one eye here. Vincent really helped me with the computer stuff, and I actually typed out some of this stuff because I walked into the other room, and when you do that, and he got typed the A personality with you or something, he was on it. Yeah, I don't know why he could. Well, okay, so the hotel card, that is kind of weird for a guy to keep one, but I've kept some from when I went, like and visited, like we went to a museum boutique hotel for our anniversary a couple years ago, and I think I kept like the room key. I'm wondering if it's something like that, or if, like a little Bryan Laundry little deal, something, I don't know, but I'm just wondering. The handwriting drawing is of a man's mind. Oh. Yeah, I don't know. It said it just a hand drawing. So Jay Lee said, unless it was from a hotel on the trip, you're supposed to turn those in. Yeah, I know, but I don't. Sometimes I don't. I know you're supposed to. Drunk Turkey said he was on a trip from Idaho to PA. I wouldn't be surprised if Bryan and his dad stayed at a hotel and kept the card and wallet. That's what I was thinking. I don't know if they actually kept the card. Did they? Wasn't it? I thought just the envelope that the card went into, and then it was like an information packet. I thought. So those would be the things that you would get with your room key. So if you turned in your room key back in, those would be the two items that you would have left. Do you know what I mean? See, let me see, where was that at? Because that was the stuff that was found in with his car, right? Because I can pull that up. I've got so many documents. Because I remember reading that and being like, it sounded like it was this stuff that you would get when you check into your hotel. They give you like information packet. They give you it's like an envelope, and it has your room key in it, like a sleeve. And I think that they only had the sleeve. I thought it was the envelope for a card and an information packet. So, okay, right here. Okay, car registration, hiking boots, comfort inn, room key holder, and stay information. So yeah, so it was only the key holder, envelope, and the stay information. How's my brain retain that when I only read that one time? Oh my lordy, I'm doing pretty good, y'all. Short-term memory's doing good. don't count me out because I can't believe I only read this once with you guys when we did the live. So yeah, because so maybe his dad returned the key. It probably was from when they were on their trip because they had to have stayed places. There's no way they could have driven all the way from, they went down to Washington and then they went down and then across. There's no way they would have had to stop. You're answering me out loud. You sound like me when I'm when I'm watching other creators. Vincent, today I was watching something and I actually wasn't even stressed. And he's like, "Are you stressed?" And I was like, "No, I'm actually not. But it says here, 51 is maroon colored spiral notebook. Wondering what that is in there too. If they wanted to collect that, I don't know. 52 dark color clothes. 53 HP 100. I don't know what that is. 100B, black model, all-in-one computer. And so the all-in-one computers, I had asked Vincent what those were. They're kind of like it's an all-in-one. It doesn't have like a tower that comes separately. Kind of like Apple computers, they all come together. And then, where was I at? Lenovo IdeaPad, and then it has the model number. And so the first computer that they took, the HP, is from 2011. The second one is a 2016 model. So they're a little bit older. Tangent Medallion 5155B computer, and it's an old model designed for medical or industrial use. So I don't know why they would have that one in their house. It's just kind of crazy to me. But then we have dark clothes in the laundry basket. Taylor cutlery knife with leather sheath. Oh, I wanted to look that up for you guys. Let's look those up. Because a couple other people looked those up and they just looked a little, like everyone looked different. So I'm wondering if they are, those don't look. Like I wonder, maybe you guys would know better than me. Well, this one says Taylor cutlery knives. I have a friend that's into knives. Like he has like these kind of knives. I wonder if, and this isn't like what I need, but I don't think this is what I need. Is it? No, it says that's what it says. Taylor cutlery knives. I saw someone earlier. They did a video. And they were talking about these. Does anybody in the chat know anything about cutlery? The only cutlery I know about is the kind that you put in the drawer. Yeah, welcome, Drunk Turkey Show. Yeah, welcome. I think it's your first time. Yeah. Welcome to the chat. So yeah, we need to figure that one out. I'm going to have to figure that out. Because some of these look like they're, what would that be even called? Like just a folding knife? I'm assuming Taylor is the brand. I mean, that's pretty self-explanatory. But this one from Amazon over here looks different. Like, let's go to Amazon. That doesn't even say, no, I don't think that's what we need. Maybe it is though, I don't know. I'll have to look into those. And let me know if you guys know anything about, the cutlery. So the first one that, was just knife. That one didn't give us very much detail. I'm wondering if they left that detail out, but I don't know why they would do that. I mean, or why they wouldn't just redact it. Do you know what I mean? When they sent out the paperwork, why it wouldn't say K-bar knife and then the K-bar is just redacted. So I don't know about that. But I know that a lot of people have folding knives that they carry in their pockets, things of that nature. But we did go over in our live that his first job was at a pay lake. So a pay lake's like where you go and you pay to fish. And a lot of times they'll have at the end of the evening, if you catch the biggest fish or whatever it may be, you'll get the pot of money that they have. My nephew goes to a lot of them, pay lakes a lot. He's really good at fishing, so he makes money doing it. Like on the weekends, I mean, if he just wants to make a couple extra bucks and for his girlfriend or something, they'll go to the Pay Lake and they have fun. So he did do that, and he wasn't good at it though. He wasn't good at his job filleting fish. They never let him fillet the fish. I guess they tried to let him. I guess they trained for 40. I think they trained him for 40 days. He said they have 40 shifts or something, or 20 shifts. He was there. I can't remember the exact number now for some reason, but he only ended up filleting them for a short amount of time, and he didn't do a good job. He wasn't good with customers either. And he was only 16 at the time. I don't understand how you can't just pick up, like part of the job is just picking up trash and just smiling at people. Like you don't really have to interact with them. Most people that are out there fishing, they just want to be like fishing, you know? They're not there to like chit chat and talk a lot anyway, I feel like. I don't know. Ray would know, yeah. Yeah, why? Well, I don't know. So he might have a lot of knives because he lives in Pennsylvania. You know, I mean, I don't know. My brother has probably a pocket knife on him every second of the day. Like I would just assume he does because he like is that kind of a guy, you know? Like if you need like something opened, I could see him pulling out like a can opener out of his pocket though. Like my brother would have some random stuff in his pocket or in his car. I feel like he is the most random person I know. He's worse than any girl when it comes to his car. He always has like the most random things in there. But he would have that. He would have like, you know, a folding knife or something. But yeah, these don't like, I don't know. The folding ones don't look as scary, but these other ones look a little scarier. So, and I think that there's different like models of these knives. There's probably not just one Taylor cutlery knife. You know what I mean? Or they probably would have put like folding along, I don't know. 20 days total. Thank you. I couldn't remember if it was 20 or 40. I don't know why I was getting 40. So then 10 days, I think, was like, because they said like half the time they were trying to teach him and they just couldn't teach him. I don't think I could ever use a knife to even protect myself. Like I'm not even lying, y'all. Like I'd rather use my hands, my fist, a gun, a pan, run. You see me running, but I don't think I could use a knife. That's just, They creep me out too. They don't creep me out, but they're just like, I don't know. I'm not good with sharp instruments, so that's probably why. So I'll go back over here. We don't have that much more stuff to go down through. Actually, that was really all of it. So then they got like 4 swabs from him, 2 pairs of dark colored boots, and 1 pair of brown boots. So brown boots could even look like black and, you know, night. Yeah, I think a lot of people have knives. I do believe that. I'm going to grab my drink really quick. But yeah, they did collect a lot of stuff from him. Altogether, 63 items. And then, you know, some of them was like A through whatever for some of the items. So it was a little bit more. It's very personal, Roy. You're exactly right. It's just so personal, and yeah, I don't think I would want to get that close. Yeah, they Drunk Turkey said they probably picked it up because the search warrant asked for knife sheaths. It shows a pattern of having access to knives that are equipped with sheaths. Exactly, yeah, and this one has one. Yeah, as soon as I read that it said in leather sheath, I was like, ooh, that doesn't look good for you, bro. Because I don't know many. I know pocket knives, but like you could probably put them in a leather sheath, but why? So it has to be like a regular bladed knife, you would think. Unless it's just for the looks. But why does he have all these leather sheaths around if he's vegan? Unless are they vegan leather? Because they do sell vegan leather. But I don't know about the knife sheaths. Isn't that weird? So Kaylee asked, did he hunt? I live in Florida where many hunt, but I don't have lots of knives. I would use it if I had to defend myself though. Oh, what do you guys hunt there? Do you guys like hunt? Is it more like crocodiles and stuff? I know that's going to be a weird ass question. You're probably going to think this girl is dumber than a box of rocks. But is it deer and things like that? Because that's what we have. Like we have a problem with, you know, deer in Ohio, or they do, no offense, Drunk Turkey, but we do turkeys around here. They, they do turkey, birds, things like duck hunting. But I wonder how the hunting would be in Florida. That'd be so hot. Because you have to be like fully dressed. Oh, no, I don't think so. but I wouldn't be able to hunt anyway. My brother would never take me hunting. That's the only person I know that hunts. He wouldn't take me. He would be like, no, you would talk too much. I would scare the deer away. I know, that's so exciting. I'm so glad when other creators come in and hang out with us, especially bigger channels. I love it. Because I remember like when I was even smaller channel than I am now, going into like other creators channels, and it was just exciting just to watch them grow. I've seen a lot of creators grow since I've been on this platform too. I feel like a lot of creators. We were actually talking about creators today. Me and my boyfriend were, because I came in, everybody in the true crime, like that comes in, I feel like they come in groups. Like, so you have, just your groups of people. I feel like that they kind of they hang out, like they're not hang out, but they like, do things together on like YouTube and stuff. And I came in sort of by myself. There's a couple creators that I came in with, but they're not creators that I would, that I would want to work with, that I know anyway. So don't say, Tony, don't want to work with you, and you came in the same time, because I might not know that we came in sometime. But there's not very many people that came in. I came in like Kylie Rodney around September or August. Yeah, August, first week of August. That's when I started doing true crime. So we switched it from trauma to true crime / trauma. So I want to show you this girl's page before I show you the 3D image that she did. Because I think that she did a really good job. Oh, thank you, Roy. I appreciate that. That's going to go into my Target fund. Everybody's been donating to the Target fund tonight. Actually, you know what? I need to get me a new little plant for over there. So maybe we'll do that. I really appreciate that, Roy. That's so very sweet of you. So this girl, her name's Asgit. I don't know if that's how you say it, but I'm going to actually put it in the chat. And I have it linked in her TikTok. It should be linked in the description too. And if I didn't link it, I'll make sure I do, because I thought I did. But I know that we've done hers before. But we're not gonna play hers. We're gonna play Ashley Banfield. But she actually even did one of the Alec Murdaugh, like the shootings. And if I would have known, I would have played that during our whole time doing the trial, because it would have been really nice to have seen that, because just as a visual. I'm a visual person. I've been trying to figure out how to do these. I need to figure out how to do 3D animations. There's like software that you can do it in, and I'm okay at coding and stuff. So if it's just like that, I could probably figure it out, but it'll be a little while before I get there. Hi, Lori. Everybody must be on their phone tonight when they have all the emojis. I can tell usually, because that's when people can put emojis faster. So I'm going to play this Ashley Banfield. This came on last night, and I thought it was really interesting. So this is like the last thing I really have to show you guys, but we'll talk about it afterwards, and then we'll see where we go from there.
It is Friday Night Theories. You're familiar with it by now, I'm sure. And boy, are we lucky, because a young graphic designer in Las Vegas has put... It is Friday Night Theories. You're familiar with it by now, I'm sure. And boy, are we lucky, because a young graphic designer in Las Vegas has put together an incredible 3D graphic animation of what she believes happened at that home at 1122 King Road. She goes by Van Life Adventures and Open Mind Perspective on her YouTube channel. And she partnered with another designer called Asgit Industries, and they put together this animation using the probable cause affidavit, police reports, and police press conferences. So again, I have to just give the disclaimer: these are all allegations. Bryan Kohberger is only alleged to have committed these crimes, but in her theory, she calls him, how he carried out the crimes. But it is an allegation. But with that said, I want you to take a look at just a remarkable series of events. Take a look.
Bryan Kohberger, the suspect, is believed to have entered the neighborhood at 3:29 a.m. Approaching the house, he noticed the lights are on. This hinders his plan, and he now has to rethink things. He continues on to the back, where he sees even more lights on. From the affidavit, we know he drove by the house 3 times in less than 5 minutes, probably trying to figure out what to do next. He finally decides to leave the area for a little while, and observes the lights are on one last time in front as he drives off. Cameras show him leaving the neighborhood and exiting on Walenta Drive in this direction. It's uncertain which way he went from this point here, but we know that he is seen here at this location at 3:45 a.m., caught on a gas station security camera. Wondering if this could truly be a 2015 Elantra, I downloaded a known image of one with a similar angle of view. I then entered that into a 3D modeling software and added some lighting and then tilted the camera to get a similar angle. I then animated the image to be traveling at 40 miles per hour, giving motion blur, which ended with this result. Though not scientific, we can see very close similarities that this is a 2015 Elantra. Back to the map. We see the suspect re-enters the neighborhood at 4:04 a.m. He drives up to the house and slows down. Looking at the windows, he sees the lights are now off. Continuing to the back, he checks to see if those lights are off. They are. He's excited. He knows everyone is finally in bed, but he wants to check the front one last time. As he drives down, he's filled with adrenaline, seeing the lights are all off. His brain short circuits for a second as he clumsily tries to turn around in front of the house. It fails, but he regains composure and drives on. He's caught on camera making a 3-point turn at the end of the street to return back to the residence. He does his final drive to the back of the house. In the beginning, most of us believed the two surviving roommates, Bethany and Dylan, were sleeping on the first floor. Since then, we've learned Dylan was sleeping here on the second floor, along with Xana and Ethan located here. Kaylee and Madison were located here on the third floor. The dog was located on the third floor and the room by itself. Let's move around and see through the walls into the kitchen, to the back slider, and take a look at the time frames. At 4:04 a.m., the suspect can be seen trying to park his car. At 4:09, approximately 5 minutes later, he enters the house through the back slider. At 4:18, he leaves the house after committing the crimes. At 4:20, he's caught on camera driving away at a high rate of speed. All of this only took 9 minutes. Let's watch what that looks like. The suspect enters through the back sliding door. He pauses at the stairs to look around to make sure no one's up. He then turns and goes upstairs. The first bedroom he stops at and opens the door, he sees no one there. He continues to the next bedroom. Here we know what happens. Downstairs, Dylan is sleeping. The noise from upstairs wakes her up. She thinks it's Kaylee playing with her dog. She gets up and goes to the door and looks out. She sees nothing there. The suspect then continues down the stairs about 3 minutes later. He then heads to Xana's room. Outside, there's a security camera picking up some whimpering, cries, and a thud at 4:17. We've learned that Xana was found on the floor, which might explain the thud. Dylan again hears something and looks outside her door. She sees the suspect. He walks right past her and leaves.
I want to bring Bryan Enton back in. Bryan, you stood out in front of that house for all those days and nights.
I'm going to rewind it. That way we can see, so that way if anyone didn't get to see the video, that you guys can see the 3D animation again. So basically, this girl does 3D animations on TikTok. I think she just does it for fun, kind of. She does go to school for something along those lines, but she was able to do one. So she did one 3D animation when it first happened, and we thought that Dylan was on the first floor. And so whenever I watched her first one, then she, ended up having to move Dylan up to the second floor. So she really corrected herself and corrected everything. And she kind of took what was in the, probable cause affidavit and then just basically like what has been told like here and there. I'm personally still stuck on that front door. I feel like that's how he entered. I know I probably am wrong, but I don't know why that front door was left open. I still don't get that. I'm still on it. But I think he exited the back way and everything, but for some reason, I don't know why. I think he came in the front. I feel like it would just be a little less, it would be more discreet. You heard everything in your experience, like living in one of those. See, I don't know. Like, I feel like you would hear a lot because maybe you would or you wouldn't because of the hardwood flooring. I feel like you would hear at least a scuffle or something along those lines. You know, someone hitting their feet if they're on the floor, that is. If they're on a bed and there's nothing that they can really hit their foot against to really create noise, they might not be able to hear it. If it is good hardwood floors, you know, and it's thicker wood. But it just depends on how good they were when they put those floors in, if they put anything underneath of them, you know, to catch the noise and stuff. So yeah, so that's what I thought too, Roy. It is my understanding that she did go to the door 3 times and not 2. And I think that was one of the mistakes that they made. And I think Brian Eaton makes a couple remarks like, you know, there's a couple things that are, you know, but because he's been there, but he said that for overall that he's like, this is really good. Cause you know, he was there forever. It seemed like I didn't think they were ever going to get that guy out of the cold. Figured he was going to turn into like a snowman out there. And now he's in South Carolina. Yeah, I think that yeah, no, you're exactly right, Rich. I think that house needs to be taken down to the ground. And I think they could put a walkway there for the students. I know that a lot of the students would use like those back alleyways a lot of the time. They don't look like they're very lit up. Maybe if they can't put like a whole garden or a whole park or something in there, but maybe they can at least put some safety phones, you know, those emergency phones, even though it's off campus, it's not that far off campus, to put an extra precaution phone maybe there. Like, so if something happens, they have that. But there's nothing really that they could have done differently this night. It's just, I don't know. But it really helped me the car part, like, you know, of him going around and stuff, that really helped me have a better understanding because I'm not good with direction. Like, I hate directions. I'm one of those people, I will forever have an Apple Watch and a phone that can tell me where to go, and my watch can exactly tell me, oh, just turn right here, you know? I love it when it does that. So I'm going to play this again really quick, and then I'll let it play all the way through. Because it was almost over anyway. The longest part's the animation.
It is Friday Night Theories. You're familiar with it by now, I'm sure. And boy, are we lucky because a young graphic designer in Las Vegas has put together an incredible 3D graphic animation of what she believes happened at that home at 1122 King Road. She goes by Van Life Adventures and Open Mind Perspective on her YouTube channel. And she partnered with another designer called Asget Industries, and they put together this animation using the probable cause affidavit, police reports, and police press conferences. So again, I have to just give the disclaimer: these are all allegations. Bryan Kohberger is only alleged to have committed these crimes, but in her theory, she calls him, you know, how he carried out the crimes. But it is an allegation. But with that said, I want you to take a look at just a remarkable series of events. Take a look.
Bryan Kohberger, the suspect, is believed to have entered the neighborhood at 3:29 a.m. Approaching the house, he noticed the lights are on. This hinders his plan, and he now has to rethink things. He continues on to the back where he sees even more lights on. From the affidavit, we know he drove by the house 3 times in less than 5 minutes, probably trying to figure out what to do next. He finally decides to leave the area for a little while and observes the lights are on one last time in front as he drives off. Cameras show him leaving the neighborhood and exiting on Walenta Drive in this direction. It's uncertain which way he went from this point here, but we know that he is seen here at this location at 3:45 a.m., caught on a gas station security camera. Wondering if this could truly be a 2015 Elantra, I downloaded a known image of one with a similar angle of view. I then entered that into a 3D modeling software and added some lighting and then tilted the camera to get a similar angle. I then animated the image to be traveling at 40 miles per hour, giving motion blur, which ended with this result. Though not scientific, we can see very close similarities that this is a 2015 Elantra. Back to the map. We see the suspect re-enters the neighborhood at 4:04 a.m. He drives up to the house and slows down. Looking at the windows, he sees the lights are now off. Continuing to the back, he checks to see if those lights are off. They are. He's excited. He knows everyone is finally in bed, but he wants to check the front one last time. As he drives down, he's filled with adrenaline, seeing the lights are all off. His brain short circuits for a second as he clumsily tries to turn around in front of the house. It fails, but he regains composure and drives on. He's caught on camera making a 3-point turn at the end of the street to return back to the residence. He does his final drive to the back of the house. In the beginning, most of us believed the 2 surviving roommates, Bethany and Dylan, were sleeping on the first floor. Since then, we've learned Dylan was sleeping here on the second floor, along with Xana and Ethan located here. Kaylee and Madison were located here on the 3rd floor. The dog was located on the 3rd floor and the room by itself. Let's move around and see through the walls into the kitchen, to the back slider, and take a look at the time frames. At 4:04 a.m., the suspect can be seen trying to park his car. At 4:09, approximately 5 minutes later, he enters the house through the back slider. At 4:18, he leaves the house after committing the crimes. At 4:20, he's caught on camera driving away at a high rate of speed. All of this only took 9 minutes. Let's watch what that looks like. The suspect enters through the back sliding door. He pauses at the stairs to look around to make sure no one's up. He then turns and goes upstairs. The first bedroom he stops at and opens the door, he sees no one there. He continues to the next bedroom. Here we know what happens. Downstairs, Dylan is sleeping. The noise from upstairs wakes her up. She thinks it's Kaylee playing with her dog. She gets up and goes to the door and looks out. She sees nothing there. The suspect then continues down the stairs about 3 minutes later. He then heads to Xana's room. Outside, there's a security camera picking up some whimpering, cries, and a thud at 4:17. We've learned that Xana was found on the floor, which might explain the thud. Dylan again hears something and looks outside her door. She sees the suspect. He walks right past her and leaves.
I want to bring Bryan Enton back in. Bryan, you stood out in front of that house for all those days and nights. It is a whole other perspective to see a 3D modeling and an animation. It almost gave perspective I didn't have, despite the amount of reading I've done on this case.
Yeah, I will say, having been outside the house, the artwork, the design is very, very impressive. Even the slope of the driveway, I was watching it and envisioning it in my head. They did a very, very good job with the artwork. The only thing I will say, I mean, it's obviously just a theory. I went through the video. I counted more than a dozen things that I don't know we have proof of. A lot of it's from the probable cause, but I think, you know, connecting some of the pieces and some of the timeline that we just don't know. Obviously, she, you know, filled in some of the gaps. And it is just a theory. But in terms of the design, it is very impressive.
Pretty impressive. Like you said, it is a theory, and it's Friday Night Theories. Bryan Enton, thank you for that. Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find News Nation on your television.
I was trying to type in the chat at the same time. It's over. So, the I think that just gave me a better understanding of the car, at least. I kind of knew like what, happened on the inside from the PCA. Not really, I mean, not verbatim, but for what we have. And I noticed that they did connect when they released the search warrants for the property for his Pennsylvania home, like the parents' home, the car, and there was like a third one. But I know that when they released those, the receipts for property, or Kohberger's property that was on him was the last one. They attached the probable cause PCA to that. And I didn't read through all of that yet because I'm going to read through. I want to read through every word because I'm one of those people. And that might take me a little bit of time because I really like to read really like the same page over and over again to make sure I don't miss anything. But they did attach that, and they did put out the names of Dylan and Bethany. They didn't state them as DM and BF. They stated them as Bethany Funk and Dylan Mortensen, which I thought was kind of just different because, on the PCAs from Utah and stuff, those ones that we got, those ones say DM and BF. I'm just like, that is just so weird to me. Oh, is that your dog's name, Millie? I like that name. That's cute. You sound like me. Sometimes we have to take a break when we're on a live. If it's a long live, we did like Murdoch trial, we did that a couple days. So it was like an 8-hour live day. So my dogs, of course, they have to go on their walks. So I had to take them out a couple times, but the chat was always really, really good when I was gone for the couple of minutes. We had to be gone. So it is nice to see the layout. You guys are so right. I'm trying to read your guys' chats. So yeah, does anybody have any questions on the stuff that they took? I think they took a good amount. Apparently they took everything the kid brought with him to wear, and everything he owns is dark. We should go back and look. I should look at his clothing, see if that's like his particular dress. Because I don't know. Do guys do they wear darker color clothes? Yeah. I'm looking at I just looked in the closet. I'm like, yep, I guess they do. Oh my gosh, that was crazy. I thought we were going to die those days. I shouldn't say die, but you know what I mean. Like it was because it was good because we did, the second one we did, the first 8 hour was brutal. That was like the first day, I think. And then the second one was when Alec Murdoch took the stand. So that was a lot better. But it was still like, man, I'm one of those people I have to move around after a minute. So, oh yeah, I know juries can't watch social media dealing with the case, but they are in. But what about the lawyers? You know, say lawyers can do what they want. They can dig and sleuth and do what they need to do. Oh, I like olive. I like the color olive. I'm green. I'm a green person. I love the color green. I know, I was like, looked and I'm like grays, a couple reds. I wonder when they plan on demolishing the house. They're probably not going to tell anybody an exact date so that people don't show up to try to take pictures with the house or of them tearing it down or them trying to run up and grab souvenirs of the house when it's coming down. Because I could see people being just stupid and not thinking straight. You know what I mean? Obviously, if people are outside doing TikTok dances in front of the house, I don't know how much more idiotic you got to be than that. I feel weird when people see me take a picture of myself out like in public, let alone go to someone's house and be doing a TikTok dance. I got to stage when Judge said stand up. I was standing up as well. Yeah, I told you guys take a stand up whenever he stood up. I did too, though. And yeah, that was Alex on the stand day. Yeah, we did two. We did the first day, I think, Ina, and then we did yep. And then I did do a live last night. If you guys missed the live, it was Nancy Grace actually got to talk to the prosecuting attorney for the Alec Murdoch trial and the AG. The birds are going over. I don't know if you could hear them, but I could be. Probably can't hear them though. Oh, Judge Newman's wife's a judge as well. Oh my gosh. She's just as adorable. I bet you she is. Oh, I want to see what she looks like. I was kind of wondering, and they lost their son, and he's been going through this court case with like his, you know what I mean? Like, that's just incredible. Oh my gosh, look at them. Is that them right here? Or is that his daughter? That has to be his daughter. Hold on. Or is that his wife? Who is this? Murdoch case is overseen. Let me see. I don't know if that's the picture of her or not. I guess that could be. Let me share this tab. Is this her right here? Or, I mean, I don't know. Let me do this. There he is there. Oh, I guess the picture's not in here. But was that her? That's there. Maybe not. Oh, yeah, no, this is her. So is this her right here? They're both holding a gavel. Yeah. Oh my gosh. I didn't know if that was his wife. Or is that his daughter? I don't know. I'm so bad with ages, y'all. So you guys let me know if this is his daughter or if that is his wife, because she could just be looking really young for her age. Last night was really good, wasn't it, Ina? We had a good crowd. Yeah, and like it was a good episode with Nancy. She did really, really well. And then I got off here and I watched the 2020 episode, which was pretty good. I didn't get to see the Dateline one. That judge was the only one without that stupid South Carolina accent, David said. We loved him. He did, Kaylee. But yeah, he was so patient. He knew what words to use. He used Alex's own words. You know, like when Alex said, I didn't do this. And he said, maybe you didn't. But it was the monster you became. And I was like, oh, no, he did. But, you know. Yeah. Maybe that's his wife. Because it says right here about 4 children. So let me read it real quick. We'll figure it out. Okay, it's Leslie and Patricia Stilled and their 4 children, who include a mathematician, a engineer, a lawyer, and a fellow circuit judge. Their 44-year-old daughter, that must be her. Jocelyn Newman was elected to the bench in 2016. He swore her in. Yeah, this is his daughter. Because I was like, man, because she doesn't have no gray hairs. You know what I mean? I thought, even if you dye your hair. So that's his daughter. But I don't know. They didn't show his wife. She must be hiding. I will have to find her. Because, like, yeah, I said if I was ever in any kind of legal trouble, I would want him overseeing my case. Because I know that he would be fair. I would have a fair trial. And I find it ironic and I find it empowering that we live in 2023 and that we have a black judge that oversaw this case of Alec Murdaugh and he had his 87 years of family privilege in that South Carolina town in the South. Low country got a new sheriff in town. Well, new judge, but you know what I mean. I just thought that it was something like that should be written into history almost. Because he literally was like, he was so good. And the two officers that were standing beside him, like they were like, there was 2 like black officers on either side of Alec Murdaugh too. I just noticed that one day after actually Ashley Banfield had mentioned it. And I went back and I looked at it and I was like, you are so right. I said, this is something that you don't see. So let me know in the comments section, are they going to put Granddaddy's picture back up? Or is Granddaddy just going to be off the wall now? Or are they going to put his picture back up in the courthouse? Oh, he had a cardiac aneurysm. He was 40 years old. Oh my gosh, that's so sad. I don't know. I just think that's so sad, losing a child before. That's not how it's supposed to work. But it's not supposed to work the other way around either. I don't like it either way. Yeah, he was very, and I think he went in there too. I don't think he wrote a speech that day when he sentenced Alec Murdaugh. I think that he literally went in there and he just spoke from his heart, and I loved it. And I think that's really awesome. Going back up, it should. Yeah, I mean, I don't think that his you know, the things that he did should, you know, probably you know, his grandfather and his dad worked hard. I'm sure that they, you know, they may have not done anything too crazy like he did, but yeah, I think they should put it back up. But I thought that it was fitting that they took it down. Yeah, he had no empathy. And I just can't believe, I just want to know what was going through his mind when he heard that Snapchat video. Like literally. I know, I'm never going to say jurors the right way again. And I think she even has other people saying it like her now. Yeah, here's my take on the verdict. It was the night the lights went out in low count country. Yep, that's what it was. That's exactly what it was. I mean, it was a verdict to hear. And I knew that I figured he would be guilty. And if he was guilty, I knew they would give him a life sentence. I knew they wouldn't give him 30 years. Not even on the wife. You don't do that. You don't kill your wife and child. Like, oh my God, right in front of your wife. I couldn't even imagine being Maggie. And she probably just put up with a lot of bull crap because she probably thought, you know, he'll change or something. I don't even know. And I think she got sick of it. And that's when she realized he wasn't going to change. And then that's when all this happened. Also, the photo's been put back up. Oh, before sentencing, it was put back up. Oh, wow. He had nothing to say when he had to speak on his own behalf. You're right, Kaylee. He couldn't even speak on his own behalf. He was like, it was like, oh, cat got your tongue now. Like, it's insane. But tomorrow, I think we're just going to do like a casual live. I figured we could just, you know, hang out, get together. So it'll be like just hanging out and getting together. So if you guys are down for that, you guys can ask me some questions. We can go over and you guys can tell me if there's any cases that you guys are fascinated with that are coming up. I know there's a lot of different trials and stuff going on. We can always do like nightly recaps, things like that nature. Take a little bit of a break and then do some nightly recaps, you know. Oh, sorry. I was like reading something. Sorry. Now I have to ask. Okay, I had to ask a question, but yeah. Yeah, so I'll be on it. I would probably be like in the afternoon sometime, I would say. Sassy Sunday, yeah. I was going to do like sleuthing Sundays at one point because I thought we could do like case updates, but there's really not a lot of stuff to update you guys on. I did do a Dylan Rounds video today. If you guys didn't check that out, please go check it out. It's doesn't have a lot of views. I mean, it has a decent amount, but I just love when my videos get a lot of those views because then it pushes it out more. And I know a lot of people aren't covering it, but they did arrest James Brenner, he was already arrested, so he's already in jail. But they served him, so he's going to be going away for hopefully a long time, and hopefully he'll tell us where Dylan is. If you don't know about the Dylan Round case, I have a playlist. It's just basically the 2 videos now, but it was a timeline video that I did a few months ago, and then the video last night, which was like, you know, very surprising when I saw that. So I was really, really excited to see that they had some more evidence, some new evidence, some video evidence. Again, another video. So I think we'll probably do it between like 12, maybe 12 and 2. I don't think I'll do it too late tomorrow. I think I'll do it in the daytime. But I'll make sure that I like post it in the morning or afternoon, and I'll put it on the community post too in case I do it later, but I don't think we'll do it too much later. I don't know when everyone gets on. I'll have to look. Tomorrow's beach time. Oh my gosh, Teresa, you go to the beach and you have a wonderful day at the beach and get a nice tan. I wish I could get me a tan. You're taking your dad to lunch tomorrow, pre-birthday treat and drive around his old stomping ground. Oh my gosh, that sounds so cute, Ina. Oh my gosh, that sounds so cute. I bet your dad's going to love that, and you're going to love that. I couldn't imagine my dad at 91. Oh my gosh. He would be, oh my God, he would be funny. He would be very, very, very funny because he liked to trick me a lot. So cleaning day for Kaylee, that's me every day. I feel like I clean a lot. But it actually, I woke up today and Vincent cleaned everything that I normally clean. He did I call it my side work. And I'm like, really? So I didn't have anything to do, which was nice. But then I broke a glass. So then I just gave myself work to do. But yeah, you guys have a wonderful, wonderful evening. Ina, tell your dad happy birthday from me. Teresa, have a good day at the beach tomorrow. Summer, take the day off if you want, if you need a day of rest. I can understand. Isabel, you too. Isabel's already probably, actually, it's not too late at Isabel's right now because we pushed the time up a little bit. Oh, I'm from NASCAR, not all NASCAR trucks last night. They were in town, Vegas night. Oh, nice. My dad used to love NASCAR too. That was his things. That was his thing to watch on Saturday. He liked football, but he didn't like college. He didn't prefer college, so he loved watching NASCAR. Oh, thank you for the super sticker. Be happy. I appreciate that. I love those puppies. I say that all the time. Thank you guys for all the super chats tonight and the memberships and all of that stuff and just being here, liking the video, subscribing to the channel, all that stuff. I mean, it really does help my channel grow. And I really, truly appreciate each and every one of you. But I will be on tomorrow sometime to see you guys. And you guys have a wonderful evening. And I'll see you guys all in the next live. Bye, guys.